So you know,
did you see Sheila? I don't see her. Was Shirley there this morning?
Yeah, there's still.
Oh, so
I don't know what way they went. I
Yeah,
told
that's
her,
all right. I'll wait.
Let me call Terry.
How many?
Well, no, the sisters need to sit here, so.
That's mine. So,
Yeah.
how many brothers and sisters are here today? We're going to be. That's it. I'm sorry? The reason I'm asking is we got to be clear. So I want to make sure that we. Okay. We may want to wait just a minute because Shirley's not here.
Continue this way around the open grave. Please watch your footing. You're welcome to turn to the side and place a second hand on the handles and just shuffle across the open grave. You don't want to lower until we're all centered. So lower together. Thank you. Brian,
Do you have some? Joyce is fine.
I think there are only three.
Debbie had her last radiation yesterday. I think there'll be three. I think there'll be three, yeah. But my sister is doing okay. Yeah, I do remember my sister. Yes.
I'm sure they
Yeah, we're gonna wait for them, but we're not gonna do Korea until they're here. So we'll do Korea when we put the.
I don't know what way
Yeah.
they went.
That's do me a favor. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Whatever happens, happens. We're okay. We'll wait a few minutes. Oh, she had breast cancer, and then they had to do a lumpectomy. So they had to do a lumpectomy. And it was a small tumor. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
He's been chunky since he was 3 years old.
Yeah.
Didn't your mom call you? Everybody in the store would turn around in the street.
So we have to adjust. Check. So they very small tumor. They didn't get the margins. He said that that's a possibility. So they go in 2 weeks later. So she had the pain the first. Wait, it gets worse. So the second day after her second surgery, she had the pain, and she had She had a hematoma. And one of the teachers came to the house to see how she was doing, and she couldn't do that. She came upstairs. She was standing in the kitchen. She passed out. And when she fell down, she broke her ankle. It was terrible. So when she passed out again 3 minutes later, she didn't make it up. So we took her back. So we started doing teeth. She did tomorrow, right? See what she's going to do. See if there's something there. So she's said, everything is okay. But she proud. She did great and she broke everything. So on Friday, that was on Wednesday night. On Friday morning, she had two surgeries at the same time. Number one to put a brain in the chest, and number two to fix her ankle. And so this is and she just radiation. Three. Radiation. She's not going to get chemotherapy. Stage 2, and it's very small.
I will, just one sec.
Where are you guys? Where are you guys?
Negatively with someone else.
So are you on 62nd yet?
She said she's on the road.
So you're gonna have to come and have through the car. I don't know if it's open up here.
So let me ask you a question. If I take
I'll be
this
the
off,
person.
I'm more than 6 feet away. But I got into trouble last week. Somebody really got mad at me. And I said,
I just saw her a few months ago. We have to make sure we're here. Nobody got us. That's I'm just saying.
so where are they?
They're on the road. She would tell me when she hung up. I asked her where she was. She said they're on the road.
We're going to be a few minutes because we're still waiting for the sisters.
Yeah, we'll figure out.
So I don't want you to get cold. I'm looking at you because you don't have a coat on.
Please pass on.
I
couldn't hear you.
Oh, you couldn't hear me?
Go help Aunt Shirley, will you?
You have to wait because Shirley can hear and Shirley can hear you. And you're so great, Charlie. So we're good. So when you get there, then it's like.
Are you shot? Oh,
Come on. Sorry.
Kathy, come sit down, honey.
Okay, honey, I'll get right here, okay? Thank you.
I'm not shocked by anything.
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
Should have warned you the cemetery is the closest place in the city. Yeah. Kidding, you think you check out that house?
There's Sheila's here.
I don't go to any
But I
places.
don't know Shirley's here.
Yeah, she's right there.
Where's
I've been
Shirley?
to a grocery
This is
store.
Kenny.
Oh, she's coming now from the car.
When did you get back to Colorado?
Did you see Kenny over there? Kara?
Yeah, she's been back there all that time? There they are.
Steve's bringing us masks. We left ours in the car.
That's fine. Sit.
Rabbi Dolan's here.
I think you better have Shirley sit there. Here. Here.
He's gonna do it, but not yet.
They didn't bring the flowers, did they?
If you
We'll
get
get the milk in the front.
Surely they have to see them.
You sit here.
I'll get you compass, you know? Which day too. Not that long. You understand? Deutsch. Deutsch. I'll pay in compass. We're gonna get you right up front.
Oh, no, we're
John,
not.
let Shirley put it on.
We moved another
Here,
one.
go, did you go that way?
We moved another one.
Fine. My person.
My sister got a call. Both her and her husband are going in next week. But they're with University Hospital. Yeah. And we're with,
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna move this, and I'll have it right behind you, okay?
That's right. I used to get his milk. We were the crew with him. Oh, he put the crew up front. Okay, so I'll just for Charles, you want to put the other one or?
oh my doctor.
Don't worry. You're gonna stay seated. I'm just putting this prayer ribbon on for you to tear.
With the rabbis, we're going to say a
Rabbi.
prayer with you. Hi, sweetie.
Thank you for
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'd give you a hug. You know I would, but I can't. Okay, so it's also pretty kind of the
Oh, I love you, dearie.
I know who it is.
Another rep.
You know what? Since we moved down to Jackson,
Everybody's doing okay. You have to stand up here for a second if you can. My dad.
You have your, okay, so can you stand up? Are you able to stand up? Okay. So if you can take that ribbon, see the ribbon right here? And just.
You have to share it.
Give me your knee.
Right here. Oops. Said he wasn't coming. He's taking He's going to start. You're going to start. However, you guys need to. Once we can finish, once we get this service, this is the superstar. Because they want just like a funeral. That was just her family. He's doing great. We're starting. Listen.
Everyone, I'd just like to remind you all to please stay distant from one another so that we can all remain safe through this really very difficult time. Mizmor David, Adonai ro'i lo echsar binodeshi yarbitzeni, almei menachot yinahaleni, nafshi yeshovev yancheni v'madlei tzedek lema'an shemo. Gam ki elech b'gates al-mavet lo ira ra ki ata imadi, shivtecha mishantecha hema yanachamuni, harok lefanai shulchan neged sororai, yishanta v'shemen roshi kosi revaya, achto v'chesed yidafuni ko yamei chayai, v'shavti b'beit Adonai le'orach yamin. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, giving me repose in green meadows, leading me beside the still waters, to revive my spirit, guiding me on the right path, for that is God's essence. Though I walk through a valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Your staff and your rod comfort me. You prepare a banquet for me in the presence of my foes. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runs over. Surely goodness and kindness shall be my portion all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I'd like to call upon Rabbi Steve Foster, a good friend of the family, to lead the service from here on.
In addition to Eileen being one of my congregants for a long time, she was also my friend. I'm sure she was all your friends. Charles would put her on the phone once in a while, and she was hilarious. And she lifted my spirits sometimes when I was down. So I'd like to sing a beautiful psalm that talks about lifting our eyes to the mountains to see where our help will come from. Shir Lamalot Esayin Harim Me'ayin Yavo Ezri Me'im Adonai Ose Shamayim V'aretz Al Yiten Lamod Raglecha Al Yanu Meshomerecha Hine Lo Yanu Lo Yishan Shomer Yisrael Adonai Shomrecha Netzilecha Yad Yeminecha Yom HaShemesh Lo Yakeka V'yareach Balayla Adonai Yishmorcha mikol ra Yishmor et nafshecha me'ata ve'yad olam.
From the same psalm. Excuse me, I hope nobody minds, but I'm going to take this off for right now. I will lift up mine eyes unto the mountains. What is the source of my help? My help comes from the Lord, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way. Your protector will not slumber. Behold, the guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your guardian. God is your protection at your right hand. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your soul. The Lord will guard your going out and your coming in, from this time forth and forevermore. Reign of Elohim Avotenu, our God and God of all generations. Thou governest all things with infinite wisdom and mercy, and who guidest the destinies of all of humankind. As a parent have you loved us and showered your blessings upon us. Therefore we shall not murmur even when sorrow befalls us, but with humility and unfaltering trust we shall accept your decrees. In joy and in sorrow alike we praise your goodness and acknowledge your justice. We remember that we are but strangers upon earth. Like a shadow our life flees away. Help us, O God, so to walk in your sight, that when the few years of our earthly pilgrimage are ended, we may be ready to meet our end with tranquil mind. To thee we look for comfort and strength. When one of our beloved is taken from us and a link is broken in the chain of love, which binds us together. Though we walk in the valley of the shadow of death, we shall fear no evil. For thou art with us. Be praised, O eternal our God, in all your dispensations. And sanctified be your name, now and forevermore. And let us say together, Amen. At this point, I want to call upon a few people from the family. I'm going to say a few words. First, I think we'll call upon Charles to be first, so that when you're finished, you can sit back and you can then be a mourner. Okay?
I have to take my glasses off because I can't. I want to thank everybody for being here today. It means the world to me, and it would mean the world to Mother. She loved each and every one of you. And the one thing that this COVID has done is it has upended our world. She couldn't deal with the isolation. At 94 years old, all she wanted was her family and her dear friends to be by her side. What a wonderful tribute. Thank you all. And with that, I'm just going to read a little letter that I wrote to my mother at 3 o'clock in the morning after I read all the beautiful tributes on Facebook and on Instagram that so many people wrote. And my cousin Terry and my Aunt Sheila also did a lovely tribute, and I just was overwhelmed. And with that, a letter to my mom. Mom, you gave me life. You held me when I cried. You laughed with me and cried when I hurt. You were my strength, my rock, my mentor, my mother. You were wiser than any teacher, your sense of humor and laugh infectious, your intuition beyond anyone's comprehension, style personified and always elegant. You could take nothing and make it beautiful. You were brutally honest to a fault, no nonsense, determined be damned. You were a wife, mother, career woman, successful to the end. I learned much and admired the way you looked at life. You were confident, energetic. You were a night owl, a source of information, always up on current events and wanting to discuss at the drop of a hat. You were proud of your Jewish heritage. It was important to have Shabbos, the holidays, and family, especially family. Tradition. I will never get to hold you again, have fun shopping for you, have a birthday party to make you smile. You said you were taking my life away. I'm here to say I would do it all over again for you and Dad. I promised no nursing homes, and I kept my word. I will always cherish the time I spent taking care of you after Dad passed. Rest his soul. I realized what a gift God has bestowed upon me. So many children never gave their parents the time of day. I could not have given you enough. Please know, pardon me, please know my heart is
truly broken. I love you to the moon and back. Go be with Ronnie and with Daddy. And rest in peace.
Samantha, as a granddaughter, you're going to share on part of that generation. Do whatever is comfortable for you. I won't get mad if you take it off.
Okay.
And I won't tell you to.
Boba, with the gift of years comes the treasure of knowing that there are many who love you dearly. The memories you've made with us will last forever. The tenderness you've shared with us will never fade. The most wonderful gift you could ever give is the special part of you that now lives in each of us. And the truth your love has taught us can only be strengthened by the gift of time, for where roots grow deep, memories grow forever. We will always remember and cherish the extraordinary gift of having a Boba like you. Your beautiful smile made everyone smile. Your contagious laugh would fill the room. Your heart of gold showed you genuinely truly cared. Your unique love for fashion you shared with everyone, whether they liked it or not. Your elegance that always shined. Your stubbornness you so graciously passed down from generation to generation. Your feistiness that kept you young through the years and never let you grow old. Your strength, courage, wisdom, you were always one to lead by example. Your true love for Papa that kept you happy for over 70 years, so inspirational. On behalf of all the grandchildren, we are grateful and fortunate to have had grandparents like you and Papa who gave us and your great grandkids such delightful stories of our family, and we have nothing but respect and love for the lifetime of memories. We know you had to go, but we hope you are dancing and laughing with Papa and Ronnie. Rest in peace. We love you.
Sheila.
For those of you, of the 5 girls, Eileen is the oldest and I'm the youngest by 22 years. I just want to let you know why I'm up here. I'm sorry about my lovely face right now because I had cataract surgery this morning. But I wanted to give a tribute to Eileen, and this is just for me. At an early age, Mom entrusted you with the care of the younger siblings, mostly of Ruth and Shirley. And as a result, the 3 of you always had a special close relationship, which many of us envy. Ruth tells me that you took them to many places, including places that were probably not on Mom's approved list, but you took them anyway. She tells stories of many streetcar trips to Elitch's and downtown when you protected and guided them, even if the 3 of you overspent your car fare home. Ruth also relates stories of the shopping trips where Ruth confesses to having terrible taste in clothes. As a result, the beginning of your of your future as a fashion maven began at a tender age. In order to pass Mom's tough standards, it had to be picked out, and accessorized by you. Because there were so many, Mom always wanted her children to be dressed well so they would not look like the country poor cousins. God forbid. Mom had many kids and Dad to care for in those days, so that trust and responsibility and training helped you develop many traits and habits that would serve you well in your future endeavors. As a result, and at Mom's direction, you, Ruth, and Shirley grew up to be independent, open-minded, responsible, and self-directed women, far from the traditional feminine model of your time. Through the years, each of you carved out quite a lifestyle quite different from the traditional model offered to women of your generation. Each in your own way broke the famous glass ceiling by having a meaningful profession and the traditional definition of family and home life. Isn't that the gold ring that most women are trying to achieve today? You had the strength, discipline, dedication, and talent to create a professional career that took you to the heights of success and recognition while maintaining close ties to your family and home. You helped people because you cared and because of that fashion eye that began in your childhood with Mom's guidance. You assisted people, those who would listen to you, to look and feel their best. At the same time, you tried to temper your customer relationships with honesty, persistence, respect, affection, and friendship. You enjoyed helping people to become better versions of themselves. Unfortunately, like many of us in the 60s and 70s, I wasn't always the one who followed your lead. I was growing up 20 years later in very turbulent and rebellious times. As years passed, however, we grew close, and I always respected you for your goals, your accomplishments, and the relationships you had developed along the way. People highly valued your friendship, your creativity, and advice. As a result, I had a wonderful role model to follow in you and my other three sisters. I have and always will respect you all. Just as you taught me, I tried to develop my own successful lifestyle and profession. You taught your sons, your nieces, and grandchildren the same values and tenets of success, and we will always remember your good deeds and counsel, whether we liked it or not. May your memory be a blessing to all of us. Thank you for being my big sister. Rest in peace, dear sister.
Dear Charles, and I still can't get used to calling you Charlie or Chuck. I can't. So Charles it'll have to be. I only learned yesterday that there's only 3 or 4 of us that call you Charles. But when I mention Charles at my house, Joyce knows who it is. It's, dear family, friends, I know that this is a very difficult time. Always difficult. I don't care how many years a person has been privileged to live in this world. Yeah, even when a person is into their 90s, 94 years, it doesn't make this moment any easier. As a matter of fact, sometimes it's even more difficult. But it's especially difficult for all of us today because of this terrible disease that keeps us in a place without the ability to give comfort to those who are in mourning. As much as we want to, as much as we're used to, we can't hug one another and we can't express as we would like to what we feel at this particular moment. And we do feel it for all 3 of you right now. And for the rest of you who are here and who remember Eileen well. Very, very often in moments like this, I do speak about the fact that there is a real sense of bitterness and sweetness mixed together. Bitterness because life is gone. And I said to Charles yesterday, I know how difficult this is for you because you are so close. Will you recover from this? Yes. The truth is you will recover, and you will be able to place into perspective your mother's life. But there's also a sweetness to this moment. Whenever I spoke with her, just as the cantor said, whenever I spoke with her, especially in these last couple of years when she would go to the hospital and then she would come home and we would speak, it was clear that she did not want to give up living. And it was clear that as difficult as it was for her, and it was difficult, there was frustration and there was pain, and whether it was physical pain or emotional pain because she knew she was getting older, and she did not like that. The bitterness is that she's gone. The sweetness is that pain has finally come to an end. And she doesn't have to worry. And Charles, you don't have to worry. There's no question that you took good care of your mother all of these years. And there have been many, many times when she needed your care. And I don't just mean physically, I mean that emotional care that comes from somebody who is really involved. And then there were the times that physically she needed your help. I really do believe that sometimes death does come as a friend. Poet wrote, I often feel that death is not the enemy of life, but its friend. For it is the knowledge that our years are limited, which makes them so precious. It is a truth that time is but lent to us, which makes us at our best look upon our years as a trust handed into our temporary keeping. Now, I do believe that death sometimes comes as a friend. And while if Eileen was here with us right now, she would say, this is not a friend. I want to continue to live. And I think that is true. Some of you know that I spend a lot of time at hospice. I'm a hospice chaplain part-time. And for a while, she was one of my patients. And she resented that. She did not like the fact that she was in hospice care. And she said to me many times, and she said it to Charles, and Charles reminded me of this yesterday. She said to me, I don't like the idea that I'm in hospice care. I am not ready to die. I want to live. And I think that that is absolutely true. And the funny part of it is, even 2 days ago, she lived to the end of her life, thank God. And her last decision was what hat to wear to the hospital. I think that's very humorous, but it's so much a part of what her life was. And as Charles said to me yesterday, you know, when they took her to the hospital, they were trying to work on her, and clothes have to be ripped off and have to be torn, but not the hat. Not the hat. And I think she'd have been very happy with that. We learn at moments like this that time is sacred. Yes, even 94 years, that's sacred. But she had a perspective. She had a perspective on life. She had a perspective on the joys that come with life. And she also had a perspective on the sorrows and the frustrations that come with life. Because for her, it was not just to deal with those moments that were sacred to her, but to get beyond those moments, especially those difficult ones. The question really is, what are we going to take away from this day? What are you as her family going to take away? Obviously, she lived to the end of her life. And it's true that she loved the idea of living. And I suppose what she really loved about it was the fact that, yes, she lived long life. And the truth was that she saw many of the great things that happened in this world. I think she would not have been so happy with yesterday. It would have frustrated her. It would have been one of those other moments that she would have had to put into perspective, as we are going to have to try to do. And as we think about how she would have reacted with yesterday, maybe it'll help us as we move forward, because that's probably what this life is about. She had a long and wonderful marriage. It just seems like yesterday that your dad was taken from us. May he rest in peace. 73 years as a life partner. It's a fairly long time. And they fought, and they loved, and they shared, and they didn't share, and they had their special times alone and their special times together. Because those of us who have been married a long time understand that that really is what life together is about, especially in those many, many years. I remember both the sadnesses, and there have been many. To have lost a child, it's not an easy process. And to understand that there is still tension in this family, it's not easy for her, nor was it easy for her to understand. But I also remember the joyous times we shared together. The truth is, she even remembered that when we had celebrations together, anniversaries and special times, and Joyce and I were considered to be at least part of this family for so many of them, she even remembered I liked my steak medium rare. We shared those days, danced on the same floor. And Joyce and I would smile at them because they represented to us what it means to share life so fully and so completely. And those sadnesses that she had to endure, they were also a part of her life. But as so often happened for her, she knew she had to move forward, because one does not live life by always looking in the rearview mirror. One has to live life by looking forward, and that's what she tried to do. She worked hard, and yes, she had style. I remember maybe 40 years ago, Joyce went to her because she was working. I don't even remember where she worked at the time. And Joyce bought a very fancy dress for her. And it was your mother who said, no, this one doesn't work, and this one doesn't work, but that one works. And she had that sense of style. And she had that concern about the future. And she loved the softer sides of life, the theater and music. And she loved to dance. And she loved to ice dance. Important. And she loved to read. And she loved to stay involved in politics. And she had a concern for the future. And she loved each day. And she wanted to make a difference. Yes, even in her own special way, to make sure that this charity got a few bucks. And this, look, they didn't give big bucks, and there's a good reason for it. They didn't have it. If they had it, they would have. But they never forgot that even a few dollars here and there will make a difference. And that's who she was. And that's what she liked to do. And that's what made her so very special. I'm going to read this poem that I think may help, especially for you, Charles. The poet wrote, to the living I am gone, to the sorrowful I will never return. To the angry I was cheated, but to the happy I am at peace. And to the faithful I have never left. I cannot speak, but I can listen. I cannot be seen, but I can be heard. So as you stand upon the shore, gazing at a beautiful sea, remember me. And as you look in awe at the mighty forest and its grand majesty, remember me. And as you look upon a flower and admire its simplicity, remember me. Remember me in your heart and your thoughts of the times we loved, the times we cried, the times we fought, the times we laughed. For if you always think of me, I will never be gone. And I do believe that that is what she would ask of us, to continue to think of her and to act, because that's what she would have done at moments like this. It is in that spirit then that we resolve to face our grief without self-pity, but with bravery and integrity, keeping before us forever the blessings that God conferred upon us in this life that he but lent to us for these many decades. And in a world where our most precious goods are perishable, let us resolve to honor our beloved dead by being so good to the living, so kindly, so understanding, so forgiving, so transcendent of pettiness, that in our love for her we shall hearken to those who remain and who need us and our strength. May it be through new relationships and new service to humanity that we make good our loss, and in the beauty of our own lives erect the noblest monument to our mourn dead. And thus the beauty of her life shall ever abide among us all as a living and loving benediction. Adonai Natan v'Adonai Lakach. Yehi Shem Adonai mevarach me'atav yad olam. God has given. God has taken away. Praise be the name of God, now and forevermore. And let us all say together, Amen.
El Shaddai, Almighty God of the living and the dead, receive comfort to your children who grieve. Overcome by the pain of loss, they need your help for focus and the triumph and joy in Eileen. Help them to meet grief with courage, to face sorrow undaunted. Help them to treasure what is now theirs, because Eileen lived in this world. Should despair threaten or faith falter, sustain us all, Adonai, for you are a refuge and strength, our ever-present help in troubled times. Let us say, everyone, it is a truly important mitzvah to bring a loved one to her final resting place. So we'll invite the family and then extended family and friends to come and put some earth in the grave. But this is very difficult and awkward in a time like this. And we want to make sure we keep everybody safe. So put a little earth in the grave and then step away. Try to keep the distances. So we'll be able to honor Eileen in a way that would be appropriate.
Oh, Charlie. I'm in here. I appreciate it. I'm fine. Thank you for reading.
So there's the comedian.
Well, you like
Online.
oh, I didn't know that. Right there. Feedback. You're basically looking your eyeliner. I'm confident. You look like a pirate, and I don't want to go into a crowd. Oh, there he is.
Oh, your mom told me yesterday. Yeah, she has a place there too. Very sweet. Very sweet.
Huh? Oh, I didn't see it.
Yesterday was her last vacation.
Everyone, please rise. And we will do the bonus
She put it in swimming shirt.
everyone.
אלמלא רחמים משוכן במרומים המצא מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה ומעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים את נשמת יוכבד בת שבתאי ורבקה שהלך לעולמה בגן עדן תהי מנוחתה אנו בעל רחמים הסתיריה בסתר כנפיך לעולמים וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתה אדוני הוא נחלתה ותנוח בשלום על משכבה ונאמר אמן.
Amalei Rachamim, Shochem Babramim, exalted, compassionate God, for an infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure, for the soul of Eileen Goldstein, who has gone to her eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that our loved one find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May his soul be bound up in the bond of life. May she rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. Everyone, I know, as difficult as it is, I would ask you not to visit with one another, but we'll come together again on Zoom at 4 o'clock, and we'll have ample time for you to express your condolences to the family. So I would ask that you return to your cars, and we'll be together again at 4.
We will.